Hello, besties! Welcome to Martinez with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV shows. And this week has been such an awesome week as a content creator, especially for myself. We got obviously new episode of Atlanta and Crappie Lake, which I'm loving. But we got a whole new set of ladies from New York. And I'm excited for that one. I'll be talking about that one at the end because I have a lot of thoughts and I want to share them with you. And I want you to share your thoughts about the new New York with me. Um, but beside that, I got to interview and chat with my new bestie from Summer House, Sam, yesterday, and I hope you guys get take the time to listen to it. It has been one of the most like literally fun interview I have done with a Brabolette. She is so fun. We connected immediately. We are planning to do stuff together. So yes, she's the best. I truly love Sam, and I hope you guys, if you are listening to this episode, just take like a minute and just go back to my latest interview with Sam from Summer House. Give it a listen. It was a lot of fun. You're gonna love it. Um, let's start with Atlanta. I am enjoying Atlanta for what it is. It has been a fun-ish season. There's some moments where I'm like scratching my head and wondering where is this going. But at the same time, you know what? Some shows have great seasons. Some shows have like mid seasons, and some shows have very really bad seasons. And I don't think this is Atlanta's worst season ever, but it's definitely not hitting all their spot. It's not hitting as like good as it used to hit back in the day. And I think it's because the cast seemed to be a little too divided. You know, it seems to be very like cut in the middle, and it's happening just like it happened with New Jersey a little bit, not on the same level of like divisiveness, but I think it's getting to that point where, as a viewer, it's really hard to like follow the stories. It doesn't seem like everybody's invested on the show anymore. But on this episode, the show starts with Rolf pretending to be a good husband and putting on a show for everybody, like cooking and stuff. I'm not convinced. I'm not sold. I mean, we all know that he has allegedly a very questionable past as a husband. So I'm very looking his side eye with this new like I'm going to cook and host everybody. I'm the host of the house tonight. And Drew is like, okay, if you mean do your thing. I mean, you never cook for me, so but I'm happy to see the cast getting together, including their significant others. You know, uh, we rarely see the whole cast in one place. I even enjoyed that Roy FaceTime Kenya. It was really good to see it because, as we know, there was some comments made by Marlo saying like, "Hey, we don't know your guy. Like, where is he? Like, what's happening?" And Kenya said like, "Hey, he's busy. He's traveling. He couldn't come. Period." I appreciate that he FaceTime in. He's making sure that he has a presence on the show and making sure that he has a presence in Kenya's life. But what is really funny though is that we also found out that, at least based on what Marlo said, that they went on a date together. I'm not surprised. I think it's like Marlo always trying to like own one up on Kenya. The comment about her going on a date and then she just kind of like backtrack and said like, oh, it was just a lunch. I'm like, a lunch is not a date. I mean, if there was no connection, there was no interest, it was just a lunch between two people. That's not a date. and not dating. Let's make that clear. So basically, it didn't matter. I do think uh, that yes, like, hi Erin, how are you? Erin just sent a message. She said Marlo knows everyone, so it makes sense. I do agree with that part. I do agree that Marlo has some kind of connection with a lot of people in Atlanta, and she's been in the circle for a very long time. So it's not a reach that she knew the guy. I just feel like there was some kind of like dig towards Kenya. She was trying, like I said before, own one up on her, and maybe that's why Kenya reacted the way that she did when she heard about Marlo's comment and the fact that she went on a lunch date with Roy. Honestly, I don't see the problem as like people dating somebody and you are in a circle of friends and then suddenly you are dating somebody who went on a date with somebody with maybe because I don't know, maybe because I'm a gay man, we like date each other. That's kind of like it happens. Just the circle is so small. So I also think like this circle of like friends and in these type of shows are so small that it's very possible that somebody dated somebody and then that person now is dating somebody in the same circle of people. We've seen it happening. We've seen that happen on Vanderpump Rules. We've seen that happen in many shows just because it's a very tight group. You know, I appreciate one thing about this dinner. Even though there was some dramatic moments, it seems like everybody was trying to be in good terms. The only person that seems to be in a different page as usual, uh, it's I don't know, everybody against Kenya. For example, Sheree was saying that the whole like, why is Roy not here? What is he doing? And I'm like wondering, like, Sheree, like, where is Martel? I have not seen Martel since the first episode. He's always like MIA. He's always like weird about being with Sheree. And also, it seems to me that maybe it wasn't as a relationship as they painted it to be at the beginning. Even though on that first episode, I do remember that Sherette said like, "Oh, we're not dating. We're just seeing where it goes." So I never understood why Sherette was trying to comfort Kenya when she probably is not necessarily dating Roy. She might be seeing where things are going. But like I said before, it was also great that he faced time in just because it proved this ladies wrong. They made it seem like Kenya was pretending that she was seeing somebody when she wasn't. So they finally got the chance to put a face to the name. And that's always good in this type of situation where you're trying to prove somebody wrong when they are questioning your relationship. You know? Um, I was so like, I was laughing when Courtney was trying to get Kenya's attention and Kenya was more into looking at herself on a knife. And I'm gonna tell you why. Courtney was being a little too touchy in the previous episode. She was invading Kenya's boundaries, and Kenya made it, a point. She was like, "Hey, stop touching me. Stop being too close. Like, I don't like it." Some people are like that. It's not very weird that somebody is asking for their personal space to be respected. I'm the same way too. Like, I hate to invade people's spaces, and I hate when people invade mine without asking. It's funny because now I remember I posted a photo with Teresa Judice from BravoCon, and somebody tried to say like, "Oh, look, she's not even hugging you, and you're such a tree stump. You always defending Teresa, and she didn't even hug you to take this photo." Funny thing is, I do have I have like 3 or 4 pictures taken by the person who took the photo of me and Teresa, where Teresa went for the hug, and I stopped her. You know, I was like, no, like it's fine. Like we don't have to hug. I like to like whatever. And she's laughing, and we were having a good time. I can literally show you the photo because the person who took the picture took many photos as I'm trying to post. You know, um, so I'm like that. Like I respected Teresa's space, even though she wanted to go for the hug. I was like, I know you are working. I know that you are in a place where you have to be nice to every fan and allow them to hug you and stuff like that. I don't feel comfortable doing it. We can just stand together and have a conversation and it's fine. It was also the first time that I was like hanging out with a big group of people after the pandemic, you know. So I was still having that like, okay, I have to keep my distance. I'm afraid. I mean, you know, we were all kind of traumatized when it comes to like personal space during and after the pandemic. So I understand where Kenya's coming from. You know, like I do not want to have people touching me all the time. And, you know, she set boundaries, you know, and she wasn't even mean about it. The problem comes when Courtney was trying to make it an issue. That's what I think Kenya got annoyed by that. And I'm happy that Drew intervened and said, like, you know what? I think Kenya's not being mean. She's just setting boundaries. And that is okay. People out there, if you're listening to me right now, if you have boundaries that you don't want people to cross, make sure that you let them know it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, like, you know what, you are too close to me. Like even like Dorit Kensley did with Lisa Rinna. I don't know if you guys remember that scene when Dorit told Lisa, like, you are so close to me, I can smell your breath. Exactly. Set your boundary. It's okay to set boundaries. Erin just sent another message and I want to share with you guys. Erin says, I thought the way Kenya was very polite, but made clear she needed space. Seems good. Exactly. Everything was done very politely. I didn't see the problem. But once again, some people are trying to make this a problem because it's the only way for them to stay relevant on the show. Perhaps Courtney has nothing going on. She's a friend of, which is normal not to have like that much going on in your life to be a part of the group because you are supposed to be just a supporting act for another full-time housewife. But we all know that this friend of are trying to get on the show as a full-time cast member. So I can see why Courtney is trying to do the most with basically just a request for boundaries to be respected. But I'm happy that Drew was the one who stepped in and defended Kenya because that showed that even Drew understood why she was saying that. Talking about Drew, there was another argument between Drew and Sheree, and the argument comes from last year's reunion. You know, it seems like we saw at the end that the Sheree gave some gift, quote unquote, to the housewives. It seems like pretty much everybody have to return this gift after the film was over. The filming of the reunion was over. I think that's so low budget, so low budget. Like honestly, like why would you do that? Um, to I mean, why would you try to take the gift away after you gave it to people on national TV, expecting them not to talk about it? You know, it's better to say, you know what, let me show you guys the rack of clothing, that I'm gonna release or whatever. Don't act like you are giving these people some kind of like merch to take home, and then when they are leaving the studio, hey, you know what, you have to give us this back. um I mean, Shira should have known better, and it keeps giving her that reputation of low budget or not paying her people. It's to me so embarrassing at this point. She is an OG. She's been on the show since the conception of the show. She should know better. She should have known that this was gonna be brought up this season, and Drew is running with it. I mean, I appreciate that she mentioned it because once again, I'm not trying to throw shade at Shire's hard work on She by Shire. But what I'm trying to say is like She by Shire kind of is more like She by delusional because those prices are insane. The quality of the clothing doesn't seem um, like it will worth what she's asking for. And I still want to know, this is an honest question, because I haven't met one person who bought a She by Sheree item. Or every time that I ask like a public, question on my social medias, I'm trying to find out if somebody actually purchased it because I want to know. I want to know the quality. Was it worth it? An $80 T-shirt with like the who's gonna check me boo, and like that is insanity. But what is even crazier is the fact that she staged a whole like, I'm gonna give you guys some gift, and when the cameras went down and people said, okay, the reunion is over, she went like, okay guys, I'm sorry, it's not a gift, you gotta give it back. Low budget. After this dinner, we get to the part where they go to Portugal. I'm still laughing at the fact that Kenya thought that Portugal was part of Spain. She had the conversation on the previous episode with Sheree. And on this episode, we also found out that um, Drew thought that South Africa was a whole different place than Africa. I mean, I think Africa is even part of the name of South Africa. So I don't know where she got that idea. She was talking to Moyera about wanting to go to Africa because she's never been, but then she said like, yeah, I've been to South Africa, but that's like not Africa or something. I'm like, why are Housewives? This is not the first time that I seen Housewife not know where something is at, or confusing a country with another country, or thinking that a city is in a different place than where it's supposed to be. I'm like, we need some geography classes for the housewife. I'm requesting this to Bravo because these are just basic geographical information that it should be like, okay, we all should know this perhaps. I'm just laughing because it's uh, I just can't believe it. The fact that Kenya thought that Portugal was part of Spain, as a Spaniard myself, was really hysterical. You know, um, but it makes for good TV. It makes for like a good moment for the show. It finally breaks that like heaviness of like any topic or any drama that we have on the show. So having those like really kind of like side eye moments, but side eye in the funny way, I'm here for it. But I do request to Bravo that maybe having a geography teacher once in a while, or like a history teacher or something like that, for just basic information. This is not like some kind of college type of knowledge that you need to have. This is basic, maybe like even you know elementary school, or like or like even high school. Like this should be known by a high school person. I'm pretty sure. I don't know though, because last time, remember that girl that said the United States didn't have enough maps? That girl from, like, I think it was South Carolina or North Carolina, one of those pageants for like Miss Teen or whatever back in the day, that she became a meme saying that the United States, the American people can't find the US in a world map because there's not enough maps. So maybe that explains why so many housewives can't find countries or don't know where the countries are located. So that makes sense now. Maybe we are definitely going through a shortage of maps in the United States. um, talking about housewives and too much information, I think the fact that Candy shared that she was literally going, vomiting into the bathroom both ways. Like everything was coming out through her mouth, and she went to the bathroom since like she got on the plane and whatever. I'm like, I don't need to know this. This is not funny. This is gross. Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I appreciate a fart joke. But when there is vomit and poop involved, it doesn't make me laugh. It's not funny. It's actually quite gross. So there's some information that they should keep to themselves. Perhaps vomiting and shitting for 7 hours on a plane from Atlanta to Portugal should have been they should have kept that in the draft. I didn't need to know. I am looking forward to this trip to Portugal because it seems like the drama is gonna get, it's gonna dial up as they go. This season is pretty much heading towards the end of it, which is funny because I don't think we had seen anything happening this season. Um, I mean, it doesn't seem like it has like a direction. It's so disjointed that it's crazy to see that we are. I think it's like 5 episodes away from the season finale, I believe, and I don't even know what are they going to fight about at the reunion. That's gonna be really interesting. At this point, sometimes like past the mid-season part, we kind of know what like what the reunion is gonna look like, But I have no idea, none, zero. I'm pretty sure maybe Drew is gonna get the first seat just because of the drama that is coming from her marriage. But then who's she gonna fight with across the other side? I mean, it's complicated. I don't understand this season that much. It's been okay, but I'm still quite disappointed by it because the trailer and the hype that we got from that trailer when we first saw it was like, okay, this is something. But then we got to the show. It's been is not being as great, and that mid-season trailer, I didn't see anything, nothing is there, literally nothing is there. To quote Nini, nothing was there, nothing was there. Let's head to Crappie Lake before we talk about New York. I want to leave New York for the end. Uh, Crappie Lake, you guys, I don't know if you guys are watching it, and I hope you guys are, because this show is so ridiculous that everything that comes out of Sonja and Luann's mouth is freaking reality TV gold. If you're not watching Crappie Lake, I'm asking you to please, please, please watch it because it's nothing like we had on Bravo. Yes, people at the beginning we compare it to The Simple Life, but as the show goes on, I do see differences. I mean, Luann and Sonia are not pretending to not know how rural America lived, like like Paris and Nicole did on The Simple Life. They seem to be a little more aware. Yeah, they're not used to it. I mean, I'm not. If you ask me, I will be the same way too. I'll be like, I don't understand it. For example, that whole Muddin scene with those trucks and the big wheels, I had never seen anything like that in my life. Ever. I was like shocked. I've been watching, this is the first show in a very long time that I watched with my husband. I met him watch the first 2 episodes before the last one aired, and he got so invested because it's so ridiculous. So for somebody who's a non-Bravo watcher, he doesn't watch Bravo, he doesn't care for Bravo, he doesn't care for Housewives. But I sat him down to watch Crappie Lake, and he's hooked. Tell me how Luann and Sonja stopped to sell lemonade for kids, and Luann is in like extremely short shorts, and she's stopping the traffic, and the kids' mom are saying, just be nice to the people. Don't pressure them. It's donations. And Sonia look at her. No, 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 no. Pressure them. We need the money. And those type of moments make this show so special. I do think the Bravo should focus on creating more of these type of shows with like Housewives that they are not part of like the universe anymore. We have Sonia and Luann who were part of the New York OG New York. They closed the chapter. With the last season, but they still part a vital part of the Bravo universe. There was a scene in this episode where the two guys were like playing tug of war with two cars and a truck. That to me was just that didn't make any sense. I'm watching it and I'm like, why will anyone do this type of stuff? Like, how is this even fun? But it's fun to watch when you see Sonia and Luann also confused by the whole thing, but still so invested. As we know, Sonia was, talking to this guy, and that's why they go Muddin, and the guy brought a friend. Jared was the name of the friend, if I'm not wrong. And Luann is all about this guy, right? Then we see Luann kissing Brian, I think is the name of the guy that Sonia was talking to. And Sonia says like, yeah, I'm the cock curator. If I'm with the guy, they know that the guy is good in bed and whatever. So they also want to jump in and but just let me finish first. I was amazing. Or the fact that Sonia was with the guy in those trucks mudding, which I still don't understand the point of this. Like, it's like you just drive on mud and get dirty. I mean, I guess it's fun, but it's like I'm gonna take a trip to Benton, Illinois, from New Orleans because that's where the guy is from, just to mud. I don't know. It seems to me like it doesn't make any sense. But the guy went in with Sonia in that big like lake full of mud, and they were sinking. My ass would be panicking and jumping off that truck as soon as I felt like those wheels were just like sinking into the mud. But then we see Luann and the other guy, driving and saving the day. It's just insanity. Insanity. On the other hand, they do have to follow a list of tasks that the mayor gave them. On this episode, they seem to be focusing on the creation of, and they're trying to build a park. And Luann and Sonia get kind of like a model of a park. Like they can buy the parts already, like ready to be shipped or whatever. They go to the mayor's office and they are all excited about it. And obviously, in typical reality TV, the last scene of the show, it's when they realize that because there's shortage of inventory because obviously the pandemic and all this stuff, there's still ramifications from the pandemic where some parts and some items are not easy to get, that the park is affected by that and they don't know how to tell the mayor. And that's where the show ends last week, and I'm invested. Like I said, once again, if you are watching Sonia and Luann's Crappie Lake, good. If you're not, get to it. I'm telling you, it's on Peacock. The episodes are literally like 25 minutes, without counting commercials. So it's like an easy watch. And maybe that's why it's kind of like hard to like recap and like give you a long talk about it like I do with Housewives. But still, it's so fun that I like to give you guys the insight of the show. The funniest, funniest, funniest part of the last episode, to be honest, happened when they were on a white limousine. That thing was the crappiest limousine I ever seen in my life. And Sonia started saying like, I I haven't seen a white limousine since the 80s when I was dating. She was dating. Uh, she was dating somebody. I think Richard Simmons. I think what she said. I'm trying to remember. Um, and she said like and it was a big star and there was champagne and lights. There's nothing in this crappy ass limousine. Is what she said. And then she went and said the funniest line of the night. She said, "You know, good dick only goes so far. Just saying." And Billy, he arrived. Billy, yeah, that's the name of. Look, it just came to my mind just like that. Billy, who's the guy who was with Sonja, and the guy who, as we know, like popped her stitches after having sex. You know, she had a liposuction and he popped her stitches. He is the one who arrived in that limousine, and I'm telling you, that was a shit show. And it's a great way to enjoy your Sunday. So once again, if you're not watching Crappie Lake, go ahead and watch it. It's on Peacock. It's like an easy watch. Once again, it's only 25 minutes episode, and you're gonna love it. And from one New York ladies to a new set of New Yorkers, we finally get to meet the brand new Apple holders. And when I say I'm invested, I'm 100% in. I will read you the verbatim review that I gave it at the end of the episode, at the end of this episode. Uh, a review that, by the way, was shared by Bravo. That was such an amazing, to me that was amazing because I posted the review and then I get a notification on Instagram saying like, hey, Bravo share, your post, and I look and it's the review that I gave the show. So I got the Bravo seal of approval from my review, and that is, as a Bravo content creator, that's like a good way to end the night. But the episodes start with the introduction of each and one of them, one of the ladies, right? We get to see what Bryn does, what Giselle and Aaron and Sai. Uh, we have oh my gosh, Uva and Jenna. I just want to make sure that I'm pronouncing the names right. I hate mispronouncing names. Um, and it goes straight into the drama. I mean, it's petty little drama, but I'm here for it. The first conversation that came to be was the fact that um, Bren and Sai left or didn't show up to Aaron's reservation because they felt like the place was not up to their standards. They kept blipping the name of the restaurant allegedly, and I'm saying allegedly because I don't want to get sued or anything like that. The place that they're talking about is a very popular restaurant in New York called Catch, right? But it seems like by now it's not as popular, that Bran and Sai felt like being around that it was not, so they went to Casa Cipriani. I mean, honestly, I would have gone to Casa too. Casa is a great freaking place, so I would have gone to Casas. I have no problem with that. I posted that on my Instagram. I mean, I'm sorry, Aaron, I would have gone to Casa too. But I'm loving the fact that Sai and Bren are friends. It seems like they have a real friendship. I love both of them. I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, I have worked in fashion for a very long time, and Sai is somebody that I was familiar with. If you are in the fashion industry, you kind of know who is who, and follow people who do fashion content. And Sai has always been one of those kind of like staple of the fashion in New York City as a fashion content creator. As you guys know, she is most likely the only true influencer of the group. I said it before. people tend to call all these ladies influencer, and that's not the case. And I hope that those who gave the show a chance realized that while watching the episode, because they emphasize every single one of them in their careers. We also saw another conversation that happened, I guess, before the show aired, meaning like an event that wasn't aired, right? The ladies were hanging out at Aaron's place, and there is something called the Cheesegate. It seems like Sai was not very so impressed by. I'm just laughing because I mean, it's such a crazy reason to fight, but this is why I'm loving this show. It seems like Sai was not very impressed with Erin's charcuterie board and how the cheese was presented, and she was like, "I don't eat cheese. This is weird." And then the conversation, the way that they show it is like Uba and Erin at Washington Square Park, and then you see Giselle, uh, Sai, and Brent in Brooklyn. Which, by the way, I loved the fact that we started the show in two places that we didn't get to see during the old New York Housewives. You know, we never got to visit Washington Square Park, which, by the way, I lived a block away from that park. So seeing places that I know and used to be my playground brought me so much happiness. For those who know, I live in New York, but right now I live outside the city, right? But before I lived in the West Village, and Washington Square Park is located right in the middle of like between the West Village and the East Village. That's where that's where uh, that's the oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. It will come to me. But Washington Square Park is located in a very, very like central area between the West Village and the East Village. That's where NYU is located too. Like all the main, you know, area for that college is located right in that area. So I was so happy to see that. It's great to start a new chapter of a show showing stuff that the old show didn't have. So we had the Washington Square Park located, in the West Village, and then we have also Brooklyn. We barely visit Brooklyn with the other franchise. I mean, technically, the other franchise was located on the Upper East Side, and they never left the Upper East Side. And New York City is more than just 2 blocks in the Upper East Side. So I'm enjoying that part of the show from the get-go. And then we also see, if you follow Bravo, they actually posted a map of New York City with the location of each one of the ladies, and literally they all live in different neighborhood in the city. One live in Chelsea, one live in downtown in Soho, the other one live on the East Village, the other one live in Brooklyn. So we are gonna be able to see different areas of New York, which, by the way, if you are not from New York, I want to tell you one thing. Each neighborhood is different from the other one. There's different people living in each neighborhood. One neighborhood is more artistic, the other one is more like financial, the other one is more fashiony. It's different feelings. So I'm happy that we finally gonna be able to experience what true New York is all about. But with this whole thing with the cheese, it's really funny because Jenna is planning a night in, like what she called it, the night in with the girls, and she said to Giselle that the main course, or like the main appetizer or whatever, is cheese, and she was planning to have a fondue. I love that because it might have been maybe not planned. It might have been just like a coincidence, which in the reality TV world, I don't believe in coincidence. The fact that half of the cast was fighting over cheese, and Jenna decided to have a night in with the girls where all she was going to give was mainly cheese. Seems to me like she's trying to stir the pot. It might have been like just a coincidence, but it's such a funny detail. If you are paying attention, you realize, okay, she's trying to create more drama because the whole cheese conversation is gonna come up because there's going to be cheese all over the place. So I mean, like I said before, I think we as viewer have had so many seasons of really heavy, dark drama. Like we had New Jersey, we had Scandal, we had Salt Lake City with Jen Shaw, and we also have like the racist situation with Jenny, and we had the you know what Garcelle and her son went through with all the racist comments on Instagram. So I'm happy that we are moving a little bit away from those heavy, dark topics, and we are going back to fighting over cheese and reservations in a restaurant. So it might sound like just basic, but sometimes basic is fun. I mean, not basic, basic. This is just petty and like almost like vain. So that's what I'm enjoying this first episode. During the party at Jenna's house, we get to see the girls having a great time. Um, I do believe that some of these ladies have a longer friendship than others. You can tell by their interaction, but even like that, it seems like a group that wants to get to know each other and hang out and do what they need to do to cash that check. Look what happened to Miami. If you look what happened in Miami, the reason why this show is working is because even though they have drama, they fight and whatever, when they have fun, entertaining moments, you can tell that they are still friends or building a friendship or not trying to hurt the other person really deep. They know that they are in a show and they have to do what they need to do to create drama, but not forget that they still an ensemble and they need to have fun with each other. It's not fun to work in an environment with people that you hate. And that's why some other franchises like Salt Lake City did, like maybe last season or the season before, last season, it felt like they hated to be around each other and it was hard to watch because it's not fun to see a group of people that are meant, they're supposed to be having fun, even with the drama, hating each other. So I like that about this set of ladies. They might not have the longest friendships, but they already have little drama, but also fun. They were having a game about like sex stuff, like porn. Like, what do you think would be Uber's porn, and what do you think it would be Brent's porn? I think the funniest one was when they were describing Jenna as like a moody black and white porn. I mean, that is awesome, and that's why I think Bravo decided to do a reboot. They needed to go back to those moments that we as viewers fell in love with this show, right? uh, Aaron and Brent had a conversation and they seemed to get to a happy place after this whole cheesegate, you know, and they were trying clothing in Jenna's closet, which by the way is magnificent. I had never seen that many shoes outside of like a store. She had like 400 pair of shoes. That's a fucking insane amount of shoes. But it makes sense. She used to work for J. Crew. She's been working in the fashion industry for a very long time. It makes sense that she's been collecting all these items. But Aaron and Bryn are trying clothing, and one is wearing a sequined jacket, and Bryn is wearing a Valentino made out of lace. And you can tell by Jenna's face as they are hugging and about to hug. She's like, holy fucking shit, she's gonna ruin my Valentino shirt. Because, sequins and lace are gonna get stuck together, and if you pull lace, it rips really easily. It seemed like the shirt was fine. Also, we saw a moment where they sit on a vintage vintage chair, and the chair breaks, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's probably like a really expensive chair. It's probably a very expensive chair, and Erin just broke it. Then we found out on Watch What Happened Live the chair didn't have like a bottom part support, and that's why she went through it. So it wasn't like it was broken. It was just like that's what it was. It was just decoration, right? That was pretty much the end of the episode, and I'm excited for what is coming. So I'm going to read with you guys the review that I left on my Twitter that was shared by Bravo. It says, so my review of tonight's premiere, an absolutely home run. It was the perfect way to introduce the ladies. It was fun. Drama was petty. Cheese in a restaurant reservation. That it felt quintessential housewife. A plus. A great start what it looks like a fresh and exciting new chapter for Real Housewife of New York. And I stand for what I said 100%. People, I understand that we love our OGs from New York. We all do. I am somebody who appreciates New York and New Jersey because those are the places where I grew up. I grew up in New Jersey, in Ridgewood, which, by the way, that's where they filmed the first season of New Jersey. And, as somebody who lived in New York City for 10 years of my life, I feel like a New Yorker myself. So I have very soft spots for those shows, right? And you see me get really, really involved and like invested on the shows, right? Especially in New Jersey, I'm like crazy because as a Jerseyan, I hate when people don't understand how Jerseyans act. But I do love my OGs from New York. I do. I think we all do. But this was necessary. It shows that rebooting shows with a whole brand new cast work. It makes the show more exciting. We are not, and that's another thing we gotta remember. We are not losing the OGs because the OGs are a vital part of Bravo. So I'm pretty sure we are going to see them in different projects. I wouldn't be surprised that after we get to know these ladies on season 1, right? Because it's you need to focus on the new cast. I wouldn't be surprised if the OGs start making little cameos in future seasons because they live in the same city, they know each other, they run in the same circles. So I wouldn't be surprised that we start seeing them, making cameos. And they're gonna be on Ultimate Girls Trip next year. So, guys, we are gonna be seeing these people for a very long time. So, with that said, give this new set of Apple holders a chance. These ladies are interesting. These ladies have jobs. These ladies have a life. These ladies are moms. It's a whole freaking new set of housewife. And how exciting that is that now that we are going into the BravoCon madness, which, by the way, the tickets go on sale on Friday at noon. If you are going, make sure to have your credit card ready because those tickets sell like freaking pancakes. So be ready to fight for those tickets. It's so worth it if you can and do it. It's a live, like a one-time experience that I'm pretty sure you're gonna be like, okay, I need to go every year because that was me after before I went to BravoCon last year, right? I said, okay, if I go to BravoCon, it's going to be an experience, and if I don't go again, I mean, whatever. I went and I said, no, 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 no. This is going to be the event that I go every year. This is my Coachella. This is my Oscar night. This is my, something that I have to do every year, like from now on, because it's such an amazing experience. Not only meeting the Bravo Labs, but meeting the fans and meeting like the content creators and people who, like myself, spend hours creating content and we share the same love for Bravo. It's such an amazing experience. So if you have the chance to go to BravoCon, do it. Do not hesitate. Trust me, it's an amazing experience. So at the fact that it's already exciting the fact that we're gonna be able to meet new housewives in the process too, housewives that are interesting and fun. I'm telling you, just give these girls a chance because the first episode was amazing, and I know they are going to kill it. They went on Watch What Happened Live, and it felt like they were housewives for a very long time. It's really hard to go to this show, Watch What Happened Live, as a new cast and not look like newbies. It feels like they've been doing this for a very long time. Their dynamic, the way that they answer questions, the way that they were really into interacting with Andy. A lot of people, new people, like people who are like first timers on reality TV shows. It seems a little like Andy needs to like pull the answers so they actually have something for the show. No, they were given 110%, and that's how I know this lady were a great cast for this show. It's funny how Bryn revealed that the first housewife who reached out to them after the announcement was Jill Zarin. Not surprised. You know that Jill loved her, having the first dip on everything. We also found out that Ramona was really nasty to Sai, and even Uba felt like Ramona was being really shady. They spoke to Andy about their jobs, obviously. Each of them spoke about it. And we also found out, I mean, even though this is not news, but it was interesting to see her talk about this, is the fact that Erin works for Frederick from $1 Million List in New York. So he might even be part of the housewife universe soon too, because if Erin worked for him, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be on some kind of like real estate party or something in the future. So all these connections of these ladies with Bravo celebrities, to me is exciting. It's going to be a brand new chapter for New York that we as viewers are going to really enjoy. So, besties, this is it for tonight. I'm going to have the next podcast on Friday. We are going to be talking about Orange County and any news that we get from now until Friday. Please, 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 I'm just asking you that if you love this content, go and subscribe to my podcast and leave a rate, because the only way for us podcasters to kind of like make a difference is by the love that you show us by just simply leaving a rate. Also, please go and check my interview with Sam from Summer House. Go follow my Instagram, Twitter for the extra tea. Also on TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And like I mentioned before, there is a members only section where I'm leaving little notes, I'm leaving little posts, I'm leaving also videos once a week. And when BravoCon comes around, that's the place to find all the behind the scenes and extra tea that are not going to be posted anywhere else. Because trust me, I'm going to bring so much from BravoCon. You have no... BravoCon this year for me is going to be in a whole different level. And I want to share that experience with you guys. I already have plans with so many people. I'm so excited. So, yes. Besties, I truly, truly appreciate your support and the love that you show me every single time that I go live and I just like talk my nonsense. But I appreciate you and I love you. I see you, Erin. Thank you for always being here. I'll see you all on Friday for our Orange County recap and our, just catching up for any news in Bravo. And like I always say, besties, say it with me. Bye, besties.